After personally struggling for several years with addiction to nicotine in the form of vapes, cigarettes, chewing tobacco products, and after now interacting with thousands of other people across our channels and programs who have struggled to quit using nicotine products, one of my best pieces of advice to those struggling would be don't overthink your decision when it comes to quitting. Make the decision, remain committed to that decision, and move on with your life. And don't worry about what the outcomes or circumstances surrounding that decision may or may not entail. One of the biggest issues that I see are things that prevent people from successfully quitting vaping is this condition known as paralysis by analysis. People will watch videos like mine, they'll read through all these different Reddit forums, they'll talk to all these different, they'll talk to their doctor, they'll talk to their psychiatrist, they'll join our communities, and they'll just be looking and looking and looking for this answer, this answer. How do I quit? Do I use nicotine patches? Do I buy, Dr. Frank's chewing gum that's nicotine free? Do I do this? Do I do that? And there's so much thought that winds up going into the contemplation phase, the phase of, should I quit? Should I not quit? Should I quit? Should I not quit? The person, actually, what they wind up doing is chewing up and consuming any energy that they had to take action to quit, and they put it all into this contemplation, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So by the time it comes around to actually quitting vaping or quitting smoking, the person is so burned out from this decision, this paralysis by an overanalysis, they just wind up doing nothing, and they wind up not quitting. And when you look at people who have successfully quit smoking, and when you really ask yourself, what is the largest population of people that successfully quit smoking and how have they done it? There's many bodies of literature out there that would agree, and I'm not talking about, studies funded by Nicorette about Nicorette or, with the exclusion of those things. There's many bodies of literature out there that state the number one way people quit smoking, quit vaping, is they just wake up one day, they decide they're sick of it, and they stop. Now, the key factor, I believe, in those individuals' success at quitting vaping or quitting smoking is the lack of thought or thinking that they put into it. And I think this can be related to a lot of things in life that people could relate to. I could certainly relate this to starting a business. If I had really overanalyzed what it was going to take to start a YouTube channel, to start my chiropractic practices, to start our AddictionMindset recovery coaching programs, to launch a successful supplement to help people quit vaping and quit smoking, right? You can check that out if you want. If I had known how much work it was going to take, and if I had just analyzed and thought about it and watched videos on it endlessly, it never would have happened. I never would have got to work. None of those things ever would have occurred. You can probably think of examples in your own life where you didn't overthink a situation. It's more you just dove into the situation head first, feet first, whatever you want to call it, and then dealt with whatever the challenges, repercussions, the wins and the losses along the way, just as you did it. But the fact of the matter is, was it quoting Nike? You just did it. Just do it. A lot of people forget this. And what happens is they wind up burning all of their energy thinking about making the decision to quit versus actually spending the time quitting. And then by the time they get to maybe experience a little bit of nicotine withdrawal symptoms or whatever, they're so burned out from years of anxiety and stress about thinking about quitting, they got no energy to actually go through the nicotine withdrawal because they've thought about it so much. Another common problem that I see with this too, when it comes to overthinking about quitting, is this anticipation then gets built up to make the decision to quit. And a lot of times it's the anticipation leading up to an event that's more stressful than the event itself. Again, you can probably think of many scenarios in your own life were the anticipation of the situation, a meeting with your boss at your work, a big presentation that you have to give that you were nervous about. You were really, really concerned that your wife or your girlfriend or your significant other was angry with you. And then when you sat down to talk to them, they weren't actually upset with you. It was just a miscommunication. The big meeting with your boss where you thought you were in trouble, it turned out they wanted to give you a raise. The presentation that you were so concerned about giving that you were going to screw up, you actually wound up crushing it during the presentation. A lot of times, the anxiety and the fear associated with a decision is correlated to the anticipation of making that decision and not actually the act of seeing that decision through. And this is another area where people get stuck and that prevents them from quitting vaping. It's the fear, which one of my favorite quotes, fear, false expectations appearing real. It's the fear of seeing the decision of quitting through, and then people just get paralyzed and they don't wind up making a change. It's another common thing that I see that prevents people from quitting vaping. But going back to the over-analysis, when we have people who are over-analyzing quitting, they're like, should I use pouches? Should I use patches? Should I do this? Should I talk to my doctor? Should I do medication? No, I'm just going to quit cold turkey. I'm going to watch this video. I'm going to read that book. I'm going to do this thing. And people spend so much time thinking about how they're going to quit. They completely overlook the various benefits that they may retain from quitting vaping. They completely overlook all the things that they could be excited about and all the things that they could potentially get back to developing and growing and doing better since they quit vaping, quit smoking, quit using drugs. This could really apply to a number of various topics, okay? Maybe with the exception of certainly, benzodiazepines and extreme alcoholism where withdrawal and detox can be deadly, which is typically not the case for nicotine. But people put so much thought in how do I do it? And I think there's another reality here. You just start doing the thing, and then you will learn along the way. So you're going to quit cold turkey. Great. That didn't work. Why didn't it work? Did you not have the right mindset? Were you not keeping yourself occupied? Why did that not work? Whatever. It doesn't matter. That didn't work for you. Try the next thing. I'm going to try Nicorette gum. Okay, you try that. That didn't work. Okay, why didn't it work for you? Were you abusing Nicorette gum? Did you not bother using it? Maybe you should try a different form of nicotine replacement therapy. Okay, you try that. That didn't work. All right, on to the next thing. Maybe you try medication. You get bad side effects. That doesn't work. Then maybe you watch a few of my YouTube videos and boom, one day you decide you're finally going to quit. Maybe you try Kick It Crave Less chewing gum, nicotine-free, stimulant-free, KSM-66 and N-acetylcysteine to help reduce cravings and reduce stress. You can purchase that in the pinned comment of the video description. But my point is, you just start doing the thing, you learn as you go, and eventually you're going to come to a solution. But I promise you're never going to quit smoking and you're never going to quit vaping if you don't even try to actually quit. If you just spend all this time analyzing and assessing and going through forums and watching videos, not only are you stuck in the contemplation stage, which is already significantly more uncomfortable than the stage of which you actually just quit. So you're already keeping yourself locked in one of the hardest positions to be in. Not only are you doing that, but you're also building up more and more fear, more and more anxiety. You're putting quitting on this pedestal of this big moment in your life, creating more fear and anxiety when it comes to quitting. And chances are you're thinking about a lot of things that are draining a lot of energy that you really shouldn't have even been thinking about in the first place, nor would have you had to think about had you just woke up one day, made the decision to quit, and remained committed in that decision to yourself. That's my best advice for someone who's struggling to quit smoking or quit vaping. And this lines up with the literature. A majority of people just wake up one day and spontaneously stop doing the thing that they want to stop doing that's making them feel bad. They didn't overthink it. And that is one of the major key points when it comes to quitting smoking or quitting vaping. So listen, you got a few options right now. Option number one, stop overthinking this. Just call that overthinking out as the addicted voice. Tell it to shut up, put an end to it, tell it to stop, and say, and remain committed in your decision. That's one option. You quit today and you're done. You're done with this. Option number 2, we do have free guides and PDFs in the pinned comment that give you a lot of information when it comes to developing the mindset to just stop. Okay, so you can find that in the pinned comment or the video description. If you need a little more help, we offer one-on-one coaching calls where we can further help you with your mindset when it comes to quitting. I promise you're not going to leave that call overthinking this. That I can guarantee you. Other option, we have a group coaching community where we have conversations just like this regarding quitting smoking weed, quitting vaping, quitting adult media content, quitting binge drinking, quitting stimulants, all things that I struggled with. That's $27 a month. Or you could just follow me into the next playlist where I give you some more very direct input when it comes to quitting smoking, quitting vaping, and quitting using nicotine products in general. Do something. Don't do nothing, right? And something could be making that decision to quit and remaining committed to it. I'll look for you in the comments below to see what you're going to do next.